pawns, man, in the game, they get capped quick. They be out the game early.
Unless they some smart-ass pawns.
This is not meth.
Whoa, we are back. Another episode 8. Oz, Wire, Breaking Bad. Great times. Everybody got rehabilitated this episode, and everybody is now quitting their life of crime. It's great. Wrong. We are continuing our walk through Oz. After this episode, we will be 2 episodes left in season 3, and then we'll be on to 4. Wire, after this, we will be into the season finale of season 2, and Breaking Bad just kicked off season 3. Back, he likes to take one off and then join the next. There's Mike Hanley.
I should keep this up. How's it going? I should miss next week just to come back the following week.
You should not miss episode.
Yeah, no,
it's just a rule about you don't want to miss season finales of the show.
Yeah,
because we rated stuff last week and you couldn't have a say. But how was your viewing experience and how are you?
Well, I'm doing good. You know, I'm tired of shit. I have not slept in like 26 hours. It's good times. But yeah, I had a great viewing experience with all 3 of these. All 3 shows had some fun fucking episodes.
Did you say you haven't slept in 6 hours?
26.
That's different. Okay. Because I was like, 6 is
Yeah,
same?
no, yeah.
Actually, I haven't been to bed like I'm going on 20 at this point.
Yeah.
But okay, fair enough. Next up, Wire Defender, Oz Hater, and Breaking Bad Indifference when it comes to ranking against The Wire. How are you, Mr. Mike Menchaca? Just showing off the stash. That's a change that we haven't seen before, and the guns are away. So maybe are you joining the police department? Because you kind of got the vibe right now. But how are you, and how is your viewing experience?
Yeah. No police department for me. This was good. This was a pretty solid week. I won't say anything. But yeah, this is fine. We're just gonna get through this. We are gonna stay professional here, you guys.
Yeah, peek behind the curtain. Tensions are high. This community is built in trivia. We played something, and it did not go 2 of our ways. It went for one person's way, and we may have some animosity towards that person right now. Well, who I don't have animosity towards, the lover of all shows, the creative mind, the second creative mind of the show, Matt. Matt, how was your viewing experience? And how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm pretty much going to be the totem for the audience because I don't know what happened in the previous hour where you guys have all this tension, but I'm sure I'm going to feel it. But yeah, I mean, these were some really good episodes. I did have to rewatch an episode of Oz because I fell asleep Friday night because I was tired. But I watched it again Saturday, so everything's good to go.
Are you wearing a cape?
I am wearing a blanket because it is chilly in my little den area here.
I have never seen one person cover their back over their front wearing a blanket. You know what? You do you, sir. You do you. Maybe you didn't have a father like Schillinger. I don't know. But we're back to Oz. Episode 4 of Oz. I don't know the episode title. Not really sure what it's called. Don't really care, personally.
Natural disasters.
We left. What is it?
Or is it natural disasters or unnatural? Unnatural disasters.
Correct. I will say this episode probably has like one of the best acting performance, or it might be the next episode, but from Schillinger. But basically, we left off from last episode. His kids moved to Oz. We open this episode. Schillinger goes to Warden and basically says, "Hey, you need to put him in my cell. You need to put him in the city." And he's like, "Oh, really? You're coming to me?" The Aryan race brother is asking guy from the black guy to do you a favor. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Silver. They will keep him nice and comfy. Like, he just literally set him off. And then the lovable band of idiots in M City decide to team up and do 3 Men and a Baby inside of Oz, where Keller, O'Reilly, for some reason, and while O'Reilly's not killing everybody else in Oz, he decided, you know what, I'll help you, Beechard, to basically listen. I think we've said this numerous times. McManus is literally the worst character in the world. So dumb. Every time somebody mixes pods, like switches pods, that person normally does not make it out.
I love too that he just bought Beecher's BS about I want to help Andrew. He bought that like hook, line, and sinker.
It's like when the Aryan guard went to him and goes, "I want to switch him. Don't you want to know what? I trust you." Okay. So basically, they get him all doped up. They get him pretty high. He's ended up like passing around his lunch where all the inmates meet at lunch. Schillinger's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be on drugs." Like, take him to the hole. Basically, sends his son to the hole. And Schillinger like goes and talks to the sister Pete, and of course Beecher's just standing outside the door, just smiling, like, because you can just freely roam wherever you want in Oz. You really just, if I need you to be in a place, it doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to do anything. He can be there.
So that makes sense.
They do the thing of basically cutting. O'Reilly's selling his son drugs, and they've decided to cut that off. And they decided to cut that off, so he's now has to rely on Beechard, and Beechard's going to like take him under his wing, get him clean and sober, put him into the Schillinger went to Sister Pete because he wants him to join the rehab program. Beechard's a part of the rehab program. They're all in there. They even set up like a fake fight between Keller and thing, and he punches him in the face. He goes, "You're supposed to punch me in the stomach." I had to sell it. Crazy McManus is up for sexual harassment. He's deemed that he did, and they're like, he's like, "I didn't do anything." Well, we have this, and this, the person to tell you not. Then McManus does the greatest thing that any man could ever do. Well, one, Diane comes into not Diane, the other lady comes back and goes, "If you say anything to me, I'll scream." I'm like, oh, shit. So he's up shit creek. He can't do anything. Then this man goes to the 2 women that he's had sexual encounters with. And when they don't fully, like, agree to it, he screams and yells and just like right in front of them. "Do you think I would do this?" Yes, I do. I do think you do that, which I think is funny. Saeed likes a white woman, and he had that same. He talked to his sister.
Yeah.
Is that his sister that showed up?
Yeah.
Basically he had that kind of in his past. And they get into like a pretty like angry conversation at the meeting. Poet goes up to him and says he's going to dedicate his next poem. He goes, "No, man, do it for whatever you think is right." Then they go and have that visit. He visits that white woman, and they like interlock hands in this thing, and Poet's just sitting there like, "What the fuck?" So then he drops like a diss poem on Saeed, like in front of everybody, which I thought was funny. Keller trying to fuck Sister Pete? Is Sister Pete wanting to fuck Keller?
I think he just likes fucking with people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's 100%.
Keller ain't got a type. I'll tell you that much. He ain't got.
Trying to
He's an
make street
acceptor
number
of
5.
all kinds, which is crazy. But like Sister Pete's like swirling her pearl, like ooh, like this. She also Sister Pete had a lot of things going on these episodes. She kind of goes with Alvarez, and denies father. What's father's? I never remember.
Ray.
Yeah.
Father
Ray
Ray.
Mikata.
Basically, they have like a good like relationship, Alvarez and Father Ray, but she's like, no, this will be separate. For some reason, she wants to like bring the blind officer to the thing and them to have this conversation and everything for peace and clarity. I don't know if I'm blind if I'm ever going to be that overly happy. Like, I don't care. Like, you want me to yell? That's fine. Alvarez got out of the hole for green. He has to tell Warden who raped his daughters. But then the Hispanics are questioning him. They question him in the shower first. They're like, so how'd you get out? Like, you're supposed to be gone basically forever.
Because you sucked the wood in his dick or something.
That was and then he tells him that he doesn't have to like he said he didn't snitch on anybody, he didn't think, but they're very questionable of what ended up happening. So they don't trust him at all. They end up taking maybe it's not this episode, but they end up taking his dope, right? But maybe is that next episode?
I think
That's
it's
the
the
next
next
one.
one. Yeah.
Next episode, okay. We get back to the boxing scene, right? So who's boxing on? Alvarez is boxing, and O'Reilly talks to the one guy you haven't seen prior, doesn't have any other moments in Oz. He's the boxing partner of this guy. He ends up drugging Alvarez basically in the fight, but he like gets him mad before it. And O'Reilly keeps placing bets on complete underdogs because he's stealing medicine from the Christian guy. The Christian guy's stealing the stuff to bring it to him. He's drugging the stuff, and he ends up getting them to beat the person's ass in the first round, takes the bottle, takes the swig, because none of these people drink water prior to the fight at all. They swig right in the middle of the first round, and then they just get lit the fuck up in the second round, lose, and then he wins money on all the bets, and no one's questioning anything. Like, how'd you win? How'd you pick the underdog of all underdogs? Yeah. So yeah, the gay guy won. What else happens this episode? McManus and Warden do their classic. You're going to do the boxing ring. We're gonna box. New that guy. He's in The Wire too. He's the new cop.
Oh fuck.
Ellis from Wire, is that right?
That's it. Yeah.
Ellis from The Wire. He's basically wanting to like angrily find out who killed his dad and like where. It's all throughout these 3 episodes, but basically he ends up like he took a taser, right?
Yeah.
He tased the guy. He brought a stun gun in, which I'm sorry. Why is a stun gun not allowed for these officers? Like, would you rather than shoot them dead? Like, I think a stun gun is very valuable, but whatever. That was just crazy. But now he's on library duty. He doesn't get to do anything fun, which I don't know why. Who is the next? Crazy Bitch and Death Row. The other guy is doing his appeal. He's going to he gets his conviction overturned. And then one of the most brutal deaths in so far is the other Russian guy. He's Jewish or Russian?
He is. Oh, do not.
Good question.
He's
One.
Jewish.
Jewish, yeah.
Yeah, he's Jewish.
Jewish.
Yeah.
He's like, and he sits there in the shower, and he's like, "Oh, I haven't been there." Like, convinces him, and then freaking puts a razor blade between his teeth and slices his neck, and goes, "He was my friend." Just leaves him bloody dead. Gets away with it.
Yeah.
So you can just shower, and there's no. Where are these fucking officers?
You can't have cameras in the shower.
You can have who's leading in, who's leading out. Napa is separated. He gets a new roommate. He makes it very clear that he is. Well, he talks to father about the HIV, but that's the new roommate comes later.
And he's confessing all his sins to father, pretty much everything he's done his whole life.
Yeah, and he's going to write a book, basically.
You get a cappuccino machine?
Like, sure, I'll take one.
Yeah. And young guy, Bricks,
Wrangler.
right?
Yeah, Bricks.
Wrangler.
Yeah.
Is that Brick? He's Bricks from The Wire.
Yeah,
he's Wrangler.
No.
He's
He's
Brick-
Wrangler and
yeah.
Bricks in here.
Yeah,
He
his
wants
new
to-
nickname
he's
is
Bricks
Bricks
in here.
in here. Yeah.
What's he in Wire?
He's mad at me because I didn't call him Bricks.
It's Bodie.
He's
But
Bodie
we,
in The Wire.
we don't need to call him Bricks. Nobody calls him Bricks.
yeah. No,
I'm gonna call him
O'Reilly
Bricks.
calls him Bricks.
except for O'Reilly.
Yeah.
O'Reilly's the only one that calls him Brick.
I'm going to call him Bricks. He has a thing about his wife, right?
He's
Yeah.
got some baby mama drama.
Baby mama drama. He basically puts out a hit, right?
Yeah.
His best
It's
friend
leading
is
into
fucking
that.
his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sent
So
his
basically,
mama
all
to
that
pick up
happens in
baby.
this episode. I don't think I missed much. I think I covered most of the bases on that one.
There was
I
one
think it's
weird
a dip.
scene of Adebisi in the computer lab
Oh,
where he actually gets to see Hill doing his narration of the episode. I thought that was
Mark's
he broke
favorite scene
fourth
of the
wall
episode, of
there.
course.
Yeah, he loves the narration.
Dressed like a
Right?
fucking pharaoh.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
So
sitting there, hey, what does me dressing as a pharaoh fit into theme? Like, who cares? We got to use this outfit at some point, or else, like,
he just like went to the closet every day and says, "Yep, this is what we're gonna use." Yeah, it's so overall, I think it's a dip in the episode. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I don't think it's a bad episode. I think the kill's really cool. I think the beginning stuff of Schillinger, but that gets better as the season goes. So these next two episodes, I think, are better than this one. But what were you guys over take on 4? Favorite parts, least favorite parts, stuff like that.
Keller and O'Reilly together is going to be so fucking magical because those guys are the biggest assholes on the fucking planet, the biggest manipulators, and them together is fucking magic. And I just love that Beecher's there as well. It's just such a random trio to put together to do ridiculous shit like they do, and bringing in Schillinger's son and having him basically start off being the racist asshole, but at the same point, you can kind of tell he's half in, half out with it. He's more into the drug aspect of everything. And you have the shit with the Sister Pete and the fight where Beecher basically goes, yeah, like Mark Mack. You know, basically, you fucking me over, so this is just me getting you back. Like getting you to punch you in the face. It's like there's fun moments throughout this episode. Yeah, it is definitely a dip from episode 3, but I think it has enough fun moments and goings on throughout to where we get a little bit more character development from everybody involved, and we get a badass death in the fucking shower. And we get Schillinger being Schillinger as usual, and you can tell that he's just the greatest fucking father known to man. He clearly does not give a fuck about at least this kid. The other kid we haven't got to see yet, but at least this kid, he does not really give a shit. He just cares that he's basically tarnishing his image by doing drugs. So he just wants him off the drugs for that reason, clearly. But yeah, other than that, Adebisi being Adebisi. And yeah, the boxing scenes are gonna be fucking like the shit with O'Reilly betting is pure O'Reilly. Like that's 100% O'Reilly is just betting on fights to fucking take all the money from people. I just love that the first fight is that one of the first fights in this episode is Alvarez, and what's his name? Luis Guzman is telling him, "Don't take the pills, man. Fight angrily." And he's definitely kicking his ass that first round, clearly. Mm-hmm. And then he gets fucked up and knocked out. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. Good shit.
What was your? So we had a conversation last time you weren't here, but what was your? Who do you think is more despicable or more like evil, Adebisi or Schillinger?
That's fucking tough. They're both pretty fucking despicable. I would. Fuck, Adebisi did give him fucking AIDS to be a jackass. But I'd say Nazi shit wins out. Schillinger's definitely the bigger fucking piece of shit.
Now, there's stuff that happens in these 3 episodes that I looked and was like, I get the Adebisi. I get the Adebisi more and more.
At least Adebisi will get to know you before he hates you.
Yeah.
He won't just hate you on sight.
Mark and Matt, what was your least favorite parts of this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What?
I think the thing about Oz that's kind of hard to talk about single episodes because a lot of times each story is only getting like 5 or 10 minutes to progress in that episode. So sometimes, a lot of times, it'll feel like
I agree.
They're just setting up stuff for the next episodes. But you get a lot of cool little character moments. I thought one we didn't mention that I really liked was everyone watching the Miss Sally show, and they're all talking about Miss Sally and her assets. But there's Cyril. He's sitting there talking about how much he likes the puppets and stuff. I thought that was a real nice.
Yeah, he says the name and goes, "Oh."
Yeah, but I agree with you with the plot points. Like there's 7 to 8 of them, and they all get fleshed out through the 8 episodes. So it's hard episode by episode. But Mark, what about you? You love Oz more than any of these other shows. So what's your thoughts on it?
I did say last week that for the episodes in which we talk about Oz and Mike isn't here, I tend to like the episodes more. And more than anything today, I wanted to hate these episodes of Oz, but I don't.
Fuck yeah. Let's go.
I think that this is another good lineup. This is absolutely shaking up to be probably the best season of Oz for me. Just tiny takeaways. I mean, we brought up Keller, but I think I just find funny about that is that, hey, we want to bring in a character who just has all this raw sexual magnetism. Who do we think brings raw sexual magnetism? Hey, what about Christopher Maloney? And they're like, what?
Have you not seen Wet Hot American Summer?
Sure. Shit. Like there was literally. Oh, you know what? Yeah, dude. You brought up the shower kill, like the razor blade. Like even though I would, who would actually do that? I'd be so afraid of fucking that up. Like,
oh yeah,
a normal person does that. They're swallowing
people in
the
prison.
razor.
You have a hiccup attack and swallow it.
Yeah, like imagine that kid, he attacks right before he goes in for the kill. He's like, oh, hey, what's going on? But yeah, also listen, bring it up Adebisi again. he has maybe one of the most unsettling villain moments I think I've ever seen in a show. Just walking right up behind Wengler. Happy birthday to Kenny. Like, I shat myself, okay? Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, like that just showing up like happy birthday to you. Like, the fuck?
So that brings up a question though. Kenny turned 18, right? So does that mean that Adebisi waited until he turned 18 to start messing with him that way?
Oh.
For sake of people still watching this, yes. Overall, okay, so we're getting to episode 2. Again, episode whatever the title is. Congratulations. Starts with one of the most brutal like kills ever. That's outside world. So basically, the Christian guy kind of explains why he's in there. He took out the doctor that gave his wife an abortion. So he took his kid away from him, which is like it's fucked up for O'Reilly. And O'Reilly's like, damn, you hit the kid? Like, man, you aim for the doctor and you accidentally hit the kid? No, I aim for the kid. What? Like, what? That was crazy. So he explains why that Cyril doesn't want to box. Christian guy told him not to box. O'Reilly hit him with the Old Testament and New Testament in the face multiple times. Finally got a use of the Bible, as he says. I've never had a use for the Bible before, but here it is. They're talking about the box bricks. I can't think of I don't know. I don't know what he goes with the first name. He's in the boxing match against Cyril, right?
No, it's against Hamid Khan. Which
Mike
you look
Tyson.
at that, you go, "There's no fucking way."
Mike Tyson.
So that's why the scene where O'Reilly goes to drunk his drink and he's like,
Like, the fact that O'Reilly even considered that he had the drug is insane. Like, this guy has like 60 pounds on Kenny. Like,
He's like,
what?
like the Jake Paul Tyson fight.
How do I guarantee this? Just look at the guy. He's literally Tyson in there, just swinging. I would have thrown the towel before the bell even rang. There's no
The very
shot
first
of it.
jab he gives him, Kenny's already almost knocked out.
It's insane that there's like no weight classes to these fights.
I kind of led to it before, but the poet, he breaks the thing down in episode 2. He does the poem Saeed. Saeed goes and visits the lady again. She's getting harassing voicemails from somebody. He brings the tape to the group and like does the classic Saeed like, brother, and then he's like, and they're like, we'll get somebody else. Basically, Saeed and his group are very on the outs at this point. O'Reilly's in the bathroom scraping off a tattoo with a wire brush with Saeed standing there. Saeed seems sick to his stomach, like not really sure. Bricks finds out, McManus goes to Bricks, finds out that he has gotten his wife has been killed by the hit that he basically set up for him. He acted all like ashamed, like, oh my god, no, what? It's crazy. He's like, can I go to the funeral? Like, yeah. So while the mouse is away, the kids will play. Basically, he's gone. Bricks' guys basically get taken out by Adebisi group, so he's no longer has any protection. Basically, it's just
a very
Bricks.
brutal fucking scene.
Brutal way. Throw him down and then put boiling soup on his ass.
Yeah, god damn.
And then, why he's at the funeral, so he has no idea. And he gets home, and guess who's in the cell?
Welcome home, Kenny.
DC. We do that same stupid bullshit with Sister Pete and Alvarez talking about this guy that lost his eyes, and like we get to enjoy that character arc for a little bit longer. Like, we get it. Like, sure. I want to know why he fucking did it. Probably 'cause you're a cop. Like, I don't want to tell you. McManus gets advice to basically fight the sexual harassment case. And this is the part, I jumped ahead, but this is where he goes to the females and like tries to get their impact, and they're just like, and he loses his fucking shit. We get introduced to a character. I know, like, the thought process behind this character. I get it. But the Russian guy with the fucking Beatles haircut and, like, comes on.
The
I
villain from
understand
Home Alone 3.
Yes.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, man, the guy's going after that fucking RC car from Home Alone 3. But basically, he's in the thing. He comes in because he lit up an entire, like, he looks very stupid. By the end of these episodes, fantastic. Like, overall, they do such a good job. Him and the Jewish guy, like, meet up. They start taking shots of vodka together. He meets Nappa. Like, Nappa and him talk for a little bit. They end up basically that the guy was, like, then the Italians come to him as, like, he was disrespectful to Nappa. And is like, he's his own man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm Jewish. He's Russian. We're not the same. Basically draws the line. Fucking the same bullshit. Can we get rid of this one guy? The guy that keeps having people show up to him and they keep dropping by numbers every week? Like, we know jail is hard and people don't want to go. Like, what are we doing? Like,
Well,
he ends
I think his
up,
dad
and
like
then
had a stroke or something.
yeah, and then we go back to the Ellis from The Wire, the new cop, the guy that's struggling. He goes to Ward and is like, "Is this where my father died? I want to know, like, right where my father died," and like touches the ground, and then just goes and fucking tries to beat up
or Reba
out.
Remember what happened?
Like, you've been here long enough. Who did it? I don't know this, Olivia. Tell me. And then fucking Father Ray walks in and is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's Reba out. Like, what the fuck? Then if Ellis was smart, like the officer would come in and like talk to him, and be like, "Yeah, we screwed up. Like, I shouldn't have been handling it that way. Shouldn't have been doing this, and that." No, he just says, "If I ain't gonna help me with my father, then fuck him." Like, no, I don't need no. Okay. Keller's back trying to fuck Sister Pete. Beechard is comforting Andrew as he's going through withdrawals. He apologizes in group. He talks to
he also
Schillinger.
shows him his ass too.
Yeah, he ends up showing his ass. That was a magical moment. Beechard goes to Schillinger in the mailroom, basically tells him that he hasn't fucked him yet. Like, you'll be thankful if he has not, but he wants to. Like, he really wants me to. He really, just one of the most fucked up like scenes ever. Him and his son like have an exchange in the thing, and he basically fights his son, like, then gets him put back in the hole. And then this is the part where I'm talking about Schillinger's best acting of the series so far. He's like gives a monologue of like while they drop off the drugs to Andrew in it, and basically Andrew overdoses, he dies in the cell, and he's like, he's no longer my son. Like, you cut off the hand. Like, he does a really good like portrayal of it. I think this episode is increasingly better than the last episode. I could do away, like, if you want to know my biggest problem with season 3 so far is the boxing. I just think that's just like time filler. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, but they're not like, they don't do any of the good boxing whatsoever.
Oh, no.
It's all situational. No one actually gets hurt of any sort, and then I just don't care. Like, it's just that time filler episode that just I could do without. I'd rather somebody get like, beat up or taken advantage of in the corner than the boxing. So best and worst from that episode. What do you guys take? Did I miss anything?
Yeah.
First off, it's episode was directed by Steve Buscemi, so we got
Fucking
another
right.
guest director
Yeah.
coming in here, so that's pretty cool.
Gosh, man, the list of people that have directed shows in the Oz is crazy.
I think the only thing that you didn't mention that I really loved in this episode was Beecher talking about having a four-way with Miss Sally and the puppets.
Yeah.
That's probably the best part.
If you see the parts that don't like interest me at all, it's the Miss Sally shit. I've missed 2 episodes right now. I've missed back-to-back Sally things. I do not give a shit about Miss Sally. I must tune that shit out.
Yeah, they have to talk about the gay puppets. That group together.
You don't gotta have a dick to be gay. You gotta be able to suck one.
Like that group right there is my favorite group in Oz because they're so fucking random and they're a part of all the big shit that happens, but they have those fun moments. It was just them fucking around. But then you get you do get the great moment of oh my god, I lost my train of thought. Jesus Christ. Schillinger and his son, increasingly where his son gets in it, he brings him in the when they're in the cafeteria, brings him around the corner, and he gives them the most awkward hug imaginable. He goes, "I'm proud of you for kicking the habit," and the whole time the son goes, "I'm tired of your shit, I don't see what you see. I'm not you." And that's where Schillinger loses his fucking mind. But this is also the moment where we get parts of the crazy psycho Beecher back. Because you get him fucking with Schillinger even more in the most evil way possible because fuck him. He did all that shit to him. He's going to fuck with him as much as possible. Beecher wins throughout again. O'Reilly is fucking great in the shit he does in this episode. Yeah, again with the character moment. And yeah, the new Russian guy, he has some great shit coming up, which is fucking fantastic. But I just love the fact that he automatically pisses off the Italians within 5 minutes of fucking being there. But then you get Adebisi. We get the old Adebisi returned completely. And the dude's just as psycho as ever. And I just love that he constantly refers to him as little brother. It's so fucking weird. But yeah, great shit coming into the sixth episode? Yeah, coming into the 6th episode.
Mm-hmm. Matt?
Yeah, I'll just go. We brought up Steve Buscemi here. We did miss previous episode was directed by Chaz Palminteri, which bring in any actor direct an Oz episode.
Who's that?
Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
Him and Robert De Niro.
Or Usual Suspects. Yeah.
Usual Suspects. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this episode a lot. This might be. I think this is probably at least my favorite episode of Oz, at least of the bunch we've seen here. I think definitely probably one of the best episodes I think we've seen the show just in general. I really like what they're doing with almost every character. They've really hit a stride with kind of everybody. I mean, Cody, you have a good point about the boxing stuff. However, I do like how they're using this as just, this is going to be our O'Reilly fuckery for the week. How is O'Reilly going to fuck with everybody? And it's like with the boxing stuff. I think this is the most interesting Kareem Saeed has been as a character throughout the entire show. I feel like for a lot of it, they've kind of coasted off of that singular moment he had in the pilot of this is my prison now and kind of the riot stuff. I found him kind of to be annoying for the most of season 2. I like that we are putting him in an actual situation where he's at odds with his people and his faith, and we're humanizing him in a way. I kind of love that. I even though I was kind of on the fence about them kind of doing that with Adebisi, it's the fact that it was all just a ploy, is all just an act, and we see old Adebisi back. I really like what they're doing with him, and the Beecher stuff. It's great. So great. I mean, I really hope Schillinger actually did kill Beecher's wife. Just in the sense, like,
Yeah.
because if not, like, they're totally not even at this point.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, no.
Beecher's got the upper hand on this shit, like 100%. Uh, but yeah, and then yeah, even though part of me is starting to hate like these like like going into the real world and how like these guys got to prison, like every segment feels like you were jumping into like the world of like the Running Man or some shit. Like, although bringing in Kasigan, like he's just another great ad here, and I wanted to wait till we got to this part, like, because this is where like we'll bring in kind of the somewhat minuses, although I think we're all kind of in agreement here, at least of hated characters, is that Sky- Skylar White is maybe one of the most hated characters of just in TV history. People just hate on Skylar White. This room, though, is divided on Skylar White. There are people that will defend Skylar White. There's not a single person in this room that will defend Tim McManus. None of us give a flying fuck about Tim McManus. He goddamn sucked. Like,
Every decision
I
he
didn't
makes is
remember him
worse and
being
worse.
so bad either.
Yeah.
That's my big takeaway on this rewatch is that he just sucks. He's definitely sexual harassment. Even if they were all consenting, it's definitely he's in a position of power over them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
How many of us were?
it's on page 7 of the handbook that they all fucking read when they first started of him, and he's breaking it every chance he gets. Like,
I'm
Even
amazed
his buddy
Sister
goes,
P's
"You
gotten
fucked
away
everyone
this
but
long."
Sister Pete."
and based on this ever, she's
not her
probably
type.
coming to your side pretty soon.
She likes a more muscular guy.
Matt, did you talk?
Yeah, I talked a little bit about this one.
Okay.
Yeah, solid episode.
I think it's interesting. Mark said something interesting where this was like his favorite episode. I think I like this next episode more, but we can talk about it. We can discuss that. Overall, boxing continues. Cyril is gonna fight the massive Italian dude.
Fucking Chucky Pan camo.
Yeah. The Christian guy is coming clean. He's going to turn in O'Reilly. Basically, he's going to turn in O'Reilly. No, he's not. He's going to die.
Not if I save you first.
I mean,
Jesus
that's the
Christ.
biggest mistakes on this show, that they always go and tell O'Reilly, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm about to go tell on you."
He runs in. He runs to that Russian as fast as he can. Russian has no interest. He throws cash on the door, which they're in jail, which I still don't. Whatever, fine. He goes, "Okay, let me in." Fucking glass, like fucking pinpoint kills, stabs him in his laying in the bed.
That's another strike against this prison. He was able to get those glasses in there.
Yeah. So they find him dead. There's been a death. Well, we can't skip boxing, so the boxing will get. But we have a death.
I mean, that's
But
a
guess
daily
what?
thing at Oz.
Scott Ross's death will still be investigated. These people's death, we just roll them in the back and we'll carry on later. O'Reilly drugs another boxer. He loses the fight. Basically, O'Reilly gets the Italian, basically confirms that he did the drugging, but pinned it on the Jewish guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pinned it on the Jewish guy to do it. And has anybody worked in a place with those kind of doors before with the number keys?
Oh, yeah.
If you dump water on
Yeah.
them, just stop working instantly.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't tried it, so.
I went to work today and I was just like, what if I get locked
Maybe I
in
should
here?
try it.
Just dump it. All I will say, one of the coolest scenes in the show for me personally. him and the Russian go into the library basically by themselves because who needs guards? They're just criminals, you know? He starts dumping water on all the padlocks, and he starts talking about all the people he killed. The Jewish guy is getting like more and more agitated. He goes, "I'm so happy you get to be my 50th kill."
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
what? And then I'm sorry. If I had a problem last week with a person's death in The Wire, I have a person's problem with this one too, where the guy gives up so easily. He runs and just bangs and lets him just walk up behind him and stab him in the neck and just end it. Like, what?
And the guy gives the
It was-
greatest
I mean, you're
smile when
already
he's being
dead at
pulled
that
away.
point.
He could have kept running.
Just circles around the table.
Keep
I
screaming,
got
but
better
keep running.
cardio than this guy.
Ends up killing him.
Well, no, technically,
does he
we
kill
don't know
him?
if he's dead. No, we don't know if he's dead
Yes.
yet because he's in the hospital with the fucking mask on.
Yeah, I got.
So they're trying to save
on
him.
that kill.
Yeah.
Not kill him. They end up. They end up taking O'Reilly's drugs. The Hispanics. They shake him down, take it,
Oh yeah.
and then he walks down and goes to the main guy and goes, "Hey, do you want to get Hernandez right now?" Go up there. He's got it. Runs up, locks them all down with it, which is hilarious. Fucking more Alvarez and Sister Pete just talking about their fucking like wanting to do this. Wife of the blind cop is like, why does we have to do this? Blah blah. Well, he wants to commit suicide. Like he wants to end it. He doesn't want to leave that burden on you. All that dramatic stuff. Napa gets a secretary. Best way I can describe it. To write down his memoir. Adebisi has now tied Bricks to the bed face down, naked. I'll let you guys think of what's happening there. Parent of the year, Bricks gets to see his kid and just yells, "Be a man!" That kid's less than one.
Which again, Bricks has been in jail for about 2 years at this point, and that kid is probably 2. So that
Yeah.
kid does not know this man.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he know me?
Also, one of the best scenes ever is Diane, the other officers in there, and the one lady like comes in and they like go back and forth and be like, "Yeah, you saying you're a victim is a disgrace to the rest of us." Like just back and forth, just like I love it too. They all got a crash course on police brutality, where we have to subdue a inmate, and they just all have batons. And
Yeah,
they're
the SWAT
beating
team
them
just beating the
Yeah,
fuck
SWAT
out of me.
team,
with SWAT gear, and she's like, she needs to be in SWAT team, and they all have a giggle and a laugh.
Yeah, like he was just like, "You guys think I could be on the SWAT team?" And they're
Yeah,
like,
he was.
Father Ray goes
beat up an
to
80-year-old guy.
Father Ray goes to that the one guy, the toothpaste guy.
Yeah.
Tries to figure out who killed that guy's dad. Who gives a fuck, really?
But he said it was Warden Glenn.
Yeah, he said Leo Glenn. He goes, tell I go bye-bye.
Yeah, right. And then Diane has that interaction with that cop that basically went into Andrew's cell and gave him the drugs, right?
Yeah. Where he's looking at the porno mag. Just nonchalantly just checking out the porno mag when she walks in.
Schillinger is having restless because he killed his kid, which is exactly what Beechard and all of them wanted to do. It would run with him. Keller has another wife or another female. All three don't look the same. Saeed wants to bring Beechard to meet Mohammed, which is like join the religion, which they are not fond of whatsoever. Says he's going to still teach him, still says he's going to help him with it. Listen, I'm not saying everybody's guilty or innocent in the situation of Oz. Mike Tyson looking motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Let that man out.
Comic-Con.
10 years. He got 10
Yeah.
years
Man did
for
nothing
saving
wrong.
a woman from being raped.
Oh,
And
Man
beat
did
up the
nothing
guy.
wrong. Wrongfully convicted. Let him out.
Beecher killed
Like,
a girl while
we
driving
all see this
drunk.
one.
He got like 6 years.
Yeah, Beecher runs over. He gets parole in 4, but Beecher, which he's been in there.
Well, he's done shit since he's been in there, so
yeah.
he's
Has
got some
he?
time added on.
What has he done?
Because
I
he
feel
has,
like he's done some stuff.
I mean, he definitely got caught shitting on Schillinger's face.
Yeah, he assaulted
No,
Schillinger for sure.
no. We're talking about two different things. Sorry, no. Beecher, yes. Beecher
Yeah.
time should went up. I'm
Oh,
talking
you
about
mean
Mike.
Comic-Con?
Oh, he just got
Yeah.
here, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he just
He-
got in there.
Did he?
Yeah. He wasn't there
Yeah.
from the beginning. He just came in a couple episodes ago.
Yeah,
Oh
he just
yeah,
came
that's
in
right.
this
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Oh, okay, fair.
And he's been looking at Saeed, be like, you ain't running shit, right?
Yeah, shouldn't be in jail.
No.
Should be let go. Saeed and the
He
round
should have called
robin
Saul.
of
That's what his problem was.
round robin of Beechered cellmates. We've had Adebisi, we've had Schillinger, we've had Keller, we've had Andrew. Saeed is now bunkmates with him, and Saeed is having an emotional moment as the episode ends. Yeah, I like this episode a lot. I think the Russian stuff, the guy he's really dorky at the beginning. I was like, this guy doesn't fucking insane by the end. No one checked his glasses, so that's pretty cool. That he's got a fucking weapon that he's just able to stab people and go right in. Even though the cops came in basically as he was stabbing that guy, but he still got to keep his glasses. To each his own. Your guys' overall opinions on that one, and again, we'll be wrapping up season 3. We're almost done. We're going to be halfway through Oz. It's crazy.
That's right. Season 4 is a long one.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
Season
season
4
16
long.
episodes.
It's like
16 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
basically,
wow.
it's going to
practically
do
2
2 different
seasons.
seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But yeah, we get O'Reilly in some of the greatest moments here where you get the Jewish guy going to Pancamo to try to fuck over O'Reilly, but O'Reilly's able to turn that around on his ass in just a quick fashion. And yeah, he just goes to the Russian guy and goes, you know, I heard you're the biggest, the most feared hitman in Little Odessa, so you just tell me when to fucking stop with the money. He just starts fucking pulling out dollars until the guy stops. But then we get my favorite upcoming friendship of the series, and that's Beecher and Saeed. And we get the beginnings of their upcoming friendship together. And I just love that they both see the good in each other, and they both know that they both need help. They both definitely need help, and they can tell. And I do love that so far with all of Beecher's roommates that we've seen, Hill is my favorite one because Hill was afraid that Beecher was going to bite his dick off. The majority of the time that they stayed together. So, in the episode.
I'm a piranha.
But then, yeah, you get the Chucky fight with O'Reilly, and people tend to forget that before O'Reilly got fucking injured, man was an actual legitimate fighter. He was a boxer, so the man knows what he's doing. Even though he is technically injured, he has some fucking power on him, and he's able to show it in here. Even though Pancamo is definitely getting the upper hand, he still is able to show enough things to take him out, even with the drugs that Pancamo took. And they find out that Napa is going to turn on them, and he gets the news over the phone call that they have to take him out. And you can both tell that both of them are going, that just sucks. They don't want to fucking do it, but they know that they have to. And yeah, we get some more fun moments with Keller, including one of the funniest moments is where they're when he's in the visiting room with Bonnie, the wife he married twice, and it cuts to the redhead at first, and then he goes, "No, the other one," and fucking scans over. And she goes, and her only question of it is going, "Did she get that after you divorced?" And you go, "No, that's how she was when I married her both times." It's just such fucking fun moments. And yeah, overall, I think this is a great end to episode 6 and into the final 2 episodes. I think we're heading into a fucking banger of the end of the season. So many great things are going on. Adebisi is full on back with Wrangler shit. He's completely fucked at that point, especially since Poet and the other guy are out of the loop now. And yeah, the little Odessa guy, that death. Well, that supposed death, since we don't really know if he died or not. The way he's menacing him by telling him about how he got started and why he started killing people, and the whole time he goes, "I don't want to hear this," because you can tell he knows he's fucked at that moment, and you just see him laughing while he's being taken away by the fucking guards after stabbing the dude with his fucking glasses. But yeah, overall, great fucking shit. Loved it.
Yeah, this is definitely a great episode. I think the scene that I really liked too was the scene with Keller and Sister Pete where they're talking in the session. You really get a feel for Keller's character where he's talking about how he likes to just push people and keep pushing them and seeing if they will still love him. And that pretty much just describes pretty much how he treated Beecher and why he's still obsessed with getting Beecher to come back to him. So I think that was a really great character moment for that. But yeah, really, really solid episode.
Yeah, this is listen, I've been very critical of Oz over my time here, and I do believe most of it has been warranted. But yeah, I mean, listen, this is another really good episode. It like Oz has really like righted the ship here for me. In Oz fashion, which. I do think it's funny because I think every single one of the shows that we picked here, all of them know how to build up to the end of the season. I think like the Breaking Bad and The Wire, I think are definitely kind of the the crown jewel of kind of building up to an end of the season. But I don't really I never really thought about Oz as being one of the shows. But I think even with season 1 and 2, they did a really good job of building, and so this one has been building really well. And we're like, I'm looking forward to watching the end of Oz, like the season. Like
We've done
I
it.
look forward to these last 2 episodes. I think, especially at least for season 3.
Be still my
Mark's loving Oz. He got past season 2 of Breaking Bad. It's going to be awesome.
I don't know what happened, but this is by far the longest discussion on any show that we've ever done. We're almost an hour into the show, and we just covered Oz. So we might need to speed some things up in the next 2, just so we don't keep you all here for 3 hours. We're on to The Wire. Things are heating up, as they would say. So basically, a few of these, again, I don't take as detailed notes because I'm not familiar with this subject. I just watched it for the first time. If you thought that, I just want this on the record, Avon and other guy that killed everybody and went to jail.
Weebay.
Even them trying to talk and believe that he hung himself from a doorknob, they couldn't barely believe that as they were trying to act through that scene. Still one of the dumbest things this show has ever done, any show has ever done, that he died from a thing. But he's dead. He's dead, which is fucking crazy. Deserving to die? Sure. Died that way?
You and Bodie are both talking shit about him after he died.
Like,
it's dumb as shit, guys. You can't believe this.
We did this last week, Cody. Like, we got to do this again. Like,
I didn't know he was deid when we did the show, and then he told me he was dead.
That's amazing that you didn't even realize he was dead.
No, it made it look like it. I thought it was a failed suicide attempt. Like, there's no way he could have died from that. Well, he did. Crazy. Whatever. Still dumb as shit. Buying a funeral arrangement for him in the way of the towers. That female cop basically tells Frank that they're taking the detail, like they're moving off of it. Not so fast. They're not. What's his son? Not Dick Boy, but what's the other guy's name?
It's Nicky, which not his son. It's his nephew.
Nephew. Ziggy is son?
Yes.
Yep.
Has the wrong son. He's talking about selling and like making the money. Like he's trying to way to collect more money. He's basically. Again, this is just me picking this up. I'm not sure if this is accurate, but like with the group being down at the drug detail, like he's making up for it in that area is what it seems like to me, but maybe that's not the case. But like he's filling the supply that is not being really honored by the rest of them because they don't have the power to do it anymore of Avon's group. Is that accurate or wrong?
I mean, he's got his little area, yeah. So yeah.
He's trying to do the same thing, right? He's trying to run drugs through it.
Kind
The two cops, Ellis and other guy, go and get a new gun, get a new weapon. They give him a police discount. They're test driving it. Rawls and Lieutenant, Rawls eats the most disgusting way to eat an orange I've ever seen on TV. He's just chomping away on the orange. Frank's a little suspicious overall of them just calling it off. It just doesn't. He's not fully like okay with that situation. It seems like. Ziggy, this fake paternity thing that Ziggy gets played for at the bar, like that he thought he had a kid, he doesn't because they finally read the document. What else am I missing from this? There's a few other things. They're tracking the freight still. They're doing all the stuff without doing the stuff. They're trying to get enough information to get a wire for it. D'Angelo has the funeral from his fake death. Frank has they track a shipment going out, and they end up seeing where it goes to the pyramid spot, right?
the warehouse.
Avon and Stringer have that conversation inside jail about like, getting him out and like what happened to D'Angelo and why he took his life and all this stuff. The district attorney or whatever feels like they have enough to warrant the wire on the stuff to get it because there's actually because they do a stakeout and get the information on the people that are in there. The big guy, the basketball coach from the other side, is present.
Proposition Joe, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Guy loses his leg from falling crate. Well, that was fucking sick. More believable than D'Angelo's death. What else did I miss? What else did I miss from this episode? I speed ran that because of our in-depth wire talk. Because Mike's here, he won't be here next episode.
Yeah, this was more of a setup episode, kind of for the things that come in these next couple episodes.
We got the wire back. I'm back in the show.
This one was more about kind of just saying goodbye to D'Angelo and then kind of setting up stuff for the next couple episodes. So it was a little bit of a somber episode. But yeah, it was all right.
Mark, take me through what we missed and why this episode is brilliant.
Trying to figure out what exactly I meant when I wrote down this shit. Like I said something about Frank wants to run. I have no idea what that is, but it's something about Frank.
He wants to stay as the union president or whatever.
Okay, that's what it was. Like he wants to stay as the union president because like he doesn't want to tell everybody he's throwing in the money. There's a kind of neat part, at least, where him and his number two go to that meeting about talking about new way to run the docks and all the robots. He has I think a decent little monologue about his sons, his nephews not being able to work at the waterfront anymore. That was kind of a nice moment. Yeah, like we brought this also we get a start. You kind of talked about Proposition Joe coming in and propositioning Stringer to run drugs in the towers, like which something that definitely come into play going on here. And then we kind of tiptoed around it here, but big thing at the end of the episode is that Daniels does decide to take the murders and attach him to the Doc case, which uh, on the outset, really stupid decision. Like it's the kind of the main reason why I love Daniels as the character is that he, I think, is the type of guy like he's the type of cop that I think we'd all want to be, but he cannot play the game for shit. Like, just does not understand how to make rank. Does not understand like how to like have any ounce of self-preservation. Always makes like the wrong decision at the wrong time in terms of helping advancing himself, and also kind of this like we end up also get the bookend of McNulty's marriage, and now he doesn't really have anything going on in his job. He's not getting back together with his wife. I'm sure McNulty will make good decisions from here on out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no issues coming from McNulty moving forward. Smooth guy. Mike, do you got anything on this one?
Yeah, I agree with Matt that it's a very somber episode. Little bit set up here and there for our future in the next 2 episodes, but overall, yeah, the ending, very stupid decision that is definitely going to have some repercussions later on. But yeah, overall, I think it was okay for a good start.
All right. Episode 2 starts with a shootout on the streets.
No, that's
kid
the
died.
third episode.
Yeah, wait, yeah, no, it
yeah,
doesn't.
yeah. That's
Am I on the third episode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the third episode.
You're
This
100%
episode
right.
starts with a typical Saturday night for Jimmy.
Yes, it starts with Jimmy's night out.
Jesus Christ, yes. Are you driving? Nope. Driving. 100% driving. Fucking wrecks his car and then gets back into it to wreck it again. Just hits the thing. Fucking
Like,
That's because he's like, I can make this fucking turn. What happened?
I could do this better.
3 minutes in, basically meets a waitress. He must have the charisma of fucking God himself. Because
he is sitting there drunk, sweaty, and bleeding. She just looks at him and is like, you can have whatever you want.
All right, well, we're having sex then. So that happens. Just to quote Mike, boobs or tits.
Titties.
Titties, yes. So yes, that there's no shooting. They end up setting up the wire and what they are like allowed to put it on, basically. Ziggy gets in a fight with the biggest guy in the yard, which proceeds to ride a forklift and leave his ass on top of the crates, which I love.
This is my favorite part because he's got the 2 guys that are hyping him up. They started hyping him up in the last episode, talking about, oh, Ziggy, you should go beat his ass. You could take him. And then my favorite part is Ziggy thinks he can beat him up because he orders a Frappuccino.
He throws him up there, and I love it. He goes, and you stay there. He just rides it down and leaves Ziggy on top of it. And if anybody lets him down.
Such nice, subtle acting by the guys in there, because the moment he goes up and there says Frappuccino, they know they got him. They got him. Ziggy's 100% gonna fuck with this guy now. We got him.
He just goes up there and punches him. He barely even flinches.
They have to go to the judge to get the wire approved. Apparently, this judge is different than the other judge because this one likes household chores to be done by people that he doesn't have to pay. So they end up having to carry something up the stairs for him. Frank calls to pay his bill while the creepy older fat guy is just looking at porn mags sitting there just chilling. And he realizes that he's 3 months past due on his phone bill, but it says do not disconnect. So basically, because the wire's put in place on it, so they don't care that he doesn't pay his bill. So that makes him question like that aspect of everything. Jimmy is talking with the who's that other cop?
Bunk.
Bunk.
Huh?
Bunk.
Bunk, yes. I think it's Bunk. Where he's sitting there, he's like, I'd flip you spots in a heartbeat to be on this case. Like, let me on while he's drinking more. He's like, dude, I'd rather be on murder in a heartbeat. Like, I don't want to do this shit at all. So they end up like, I think, well, shocker, they're not going to do this without Jimmy. Jimmy is going to be able to join the case. What else? Ellis and what's the bald guy's name? Why can't I remember the bald guy's name? Ellis and
Herc.
her. They end up like trying to create like a person on the inside of like the drug ring, and like he wants like a tip. Like, he's like got negotiating powers with them. Like, yeah, I want a cut from this if I'm going to do like all this shit. And they can't negotiate worth shit. Similar to Daniels. Izzy is not comfortable with just getting the money from him. He thinks he can do it by himself, like he doesn't need anything. So he throws that money out the window. Fucking dumbass. They end up tracking calls for the first time. They get a thing. Rawls is still not comfortable with letting Jimmy go onto the boat. What else am I missing from this episode? Izzy's got a duck now. So that's cool. Jimmy busts that one. Who does he bust? Like he gets the person out that's like they tail basically the thing. He's like a lawyer or something.
Yeah.
Or
somebody who visited the ladies' establishment.
Yeah, so they end up checking in on that. What else? What else happens in this episode? Am I missing? This is the episode they get the false. Yeah,
Frank sees Kima over there as she's undercover watching the trucks, and he starts getting suspicious. So he tells.
And they send like an innocent thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then that truck immediately gets pulled over, so McNulty can get over there. So it pretty much shows that hey, he was pretty much right. He pretty much just lucked his way into figuring out they were investigating him between the cell phone thing and noticing that. So good on Frank.
So what else did I miss from this episode?
Oh, I think you get everything. I think I finally figured out Ziggy. Ziggy has the same chip on his shoulder that Walter White has. He just doesn't have the brains to back it up. And
I've never been more offended by what you just said in my entire holy shit.
I mean, he's right.
No, he's not, Mark.
Because his ego just keeps getting him in so much trouble every single time.
Yeah, D'Angelo hung himself from a doorknob too.
There's nothing more that Ziggy wants. Ziggy just wants to be taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he wants. He wants to be taken seriously as a guy as somebody who can handle himself. And he's a fuck up, so it's never going to happen. I mean, it really is the tragedy of his character, as we'll see later on. Not poking too many holes in it. Not a ton. I mean, we kind of we talked about at least Frank finding the tap, which I think is just one of the most creative ways to figure out if you have a tap on your phone. Oh, I haven't paid my bill in a while, and the wireless company says I've been flagged.
You would have to think they can't tell you that. I would imagine that if you're flagged, they shouldn't be able to tell you that. But I guess you'd explain why he doesn't have to pay his bill.
I mean, even if they didn't tell him he was flagged, be like, wait a second, you don't care if I'm 3 months late? Yeah, pay the bill whenever you want. Like, he would have been like, this is fucking weird.
T-Mobile is very forgiving.
We got that kind of neat scene where Frank meets up with his brother or Nick's dad, kind of going on. a neat little dichotomy there, kind of a older looking kind of look at like kind of Nick and Zig, and just kind of seeing how like the similarities I think Frank and Ziggy actually have. We mentioned the brothel case is progressing. They're making their way into that. Near the end, Bodie decides to take a new corner because they're not selling shit in the in the low rises. Everybody knows that they got bad drugs in that death sentence in the drug game. So I hear. Jimmy has a date with Beatty near the end, and Jimmy somehow makes the adult decision not to sleep with Beatty. Bravo, Jimmy! Great decision making today. Like you didn't fuck it up. Uh, we should all be so lucky. And then at the end when Frank figures out that they got the cops on their ass, finally puts a face to the name of the Greek. And I just wanted to say really quick. I mean, we did bring up McNult. Both The Wire and Breaking Bad, I think, are just I mentioned that they're really good at finishing off seasons. Both of them are excellent at having cold opens. But I mean, I think we can't undersell just how amazing McNulty's night out cold open is. Him just getting drunk, plowing his car into an underpass pillar, and banging a waitress. I mean, just it's peak television is what it is.
The key part though is that he makes that turn, fucks his car up, is like, why couldn't I could make that turn, and he does it again. That's the part that got me on that.
Yeah, the thing killed me. It was fucking hilarious. That, and I agree that is what The Wire has done very well with are the cold openings.
Hey, next episode, stray bullets, stray rounds. Starts with gunfire. Kid gets shot. Pretty rough detail there. Rawls and them are all on the scene, like going through it. What else happens? I'm so bad.
And then the crazy part about that is after all the shooting and stuff done, is the mom is like, "Okay, the drama's over. Come on, we got to get you to school." So that's how much that is something normalized in that community. That's crazy.
This episode does not have Jimmy making great decisions again, by the way. Like, we'll get to that later on the episode. But Stringer meets with big guy basketball coach. You said his name earlier.
Prop Joe.
Prop Joe. They have an interaction basically about, I think, helping with the, the drug stuff.
Yeah, getting a deal to work with the tower.
Getting the deal, getting that all back up and running. Frank's more aware of. Say again?
Avon is against working with them at all. But Stringer's kind of still working behind the scenes with it.
The mole popped out of the Oz and got a job with the Wire, so that's pretty cool. He shows up. Ellis and we just said his name are on scout and patrol. I like when they just spend time together and they're in there. They feel like they're just being underused and undervalued by the group for sitting there. They do run they're at the end of the episode, they do run a operation inside of a brothel, which there's only one logical person to go take one for the team, and that's Jimmy.
You need a whore to catch a whore.
You need a whore to catch a whore. And they outnumbered me. It was one of the best lines when they could walk in on him. There was 2 versus 1. I didn't do anything. He also has to write a report.
I mean, they were professionals.
He has to write a report for it, which is funny. He's just
he can't lie. You want him to lie?
Yes, he can. He's lied numerous times before. This is the one time he can't.
No, because police busted in there seeing him have sex with.
They end up. The mole And that drug, they end up like finding the drugs inside those barrels. Like, because does he has some inside information, right? Because he's like, it's there, you just have to look. And
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
kind of working with the Greek.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's the inside man in the FBI for the Greek. Which,
Okay.
by the way, first episode, weird Oz Wire crossover. Probably one of the weirdest ones we're gonna get from.
Yeah, 100%. I love that the old police captain is pissed because he wants this whole thing to be done about Frank and get Frank to take it out. But they're like, he's like, this is my fucking unit. This is my detail. I'll tell you how this is gonna go. And they basically just shake him off, like, yeah, whatever, old man, like, it's fine. There's stuff that happens. I just can't remember off the top of my head. With the young kid, Bricks from Oz. Bodhi. What does he go through in this episode? He got some things, right?
Well, like it's all the fallout from the shooting. Because
yeah, he gets interrogated too, right?
He does. Like Stringer's all pissed because he took that corner and like it was stupid for him to take the corner, especially when he was getting the deal with Prop Joe of getting a new drugs in there, so that they didn't have to do that. And he goes to dump the guns, but he dumps it into a fucking what's a garage barge.
Yeah, throws it off the bridge, lands on the boat.
And he has that that is such a great scene where he gets interrogated. They're sitting like freaking, even though like Norris and like Cole, not the greatest of detectives, but they really have him cold in there. But Cole just lets one thing slip of like, we even got your prints on one of the guns, and Bodhi, you don't have to be super smart. It's like, okay, which one? And they're both sitting there as like, oh fuck, we gotta guess correctly, which they don't.
Lawyers.
Right.
Bodhi's growing up before our eyes. It's good to see.
Yes, classic. What else I missed?
This one is a good episode. It did introduce a couple characters who are going to be bigger characters down the line, but I won't get into that. The Ziggy thing with the duck. He's taking the duck into the bar. The duck's drinking alcohol. Everyone's all having a good time, buying the duck alcohol and stuff. But then, surprise, surprise, the duck dies from drinking top shelf liquor. And everyone's all pissed off at Ziggy, even though they were all enabling him and having a good time with it. This is the only time I feel bad for Ziggy. Ziggy sucks, but that's not on him. They were kind of dicks to him about that.
Everybody is like, "Oh, next round's on me if the duck's drinking tonight." And there's like, that fucking asshole. Why did you bring this duck in the bar? Like, motherfuckers! Like, what are we doing here? You were buying the duck drinks.
Oh, which also, should I include the duck on the kill count for this episode?
He deserves it.
Yeah,
yes.
We'll add him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's by far my favorite thing about these past 3 episodes is fucking duck. It's so fucking ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. And you feel so fucking bad for Ziggy because he gets so much shit over something that everyone in that fucking bar did, not just him.
And then like
anything else, Mark, I missed?
It's a couple of like I guess no harm in naming him. The major that come in the head of the district. That's Bunny Colvin. He will be a featured character moving forward. Just be aware of that.
People are just really disappointed in like how everyone's acting like it's business as usual that this kid got killed, and he's just really getting fed up with the system and how everything's going down. So
foreshadowing as hell. Ziggy has a new plan of something he wants to do with Johnny 50. Wants to steal some cars. Heads over to Gleekus, tells him about it. Gleekus, of course, doesn't want to work with Ziggy, but hey, too good to pass up to get some Mercedes. The store, Nicky continues to sell drugs. He's getting he's getting passed along over to White Mike. You know, he's moving right along. I think also like his girlfriend wife finds some money. Does that happen this episode?
No, I don't think that's in this episode.
Okay, well, it'll get there. We pointed out like early, like just such a great scene, like at the end of this episode where they're talking about the case and like, yeah, we have like these mobsters, like they're definitely involved in the smuggling and doing all this stuff, and then stupid Valchek is like, what about Frank Sabatka? Like, are you guys gonna charge Frank Sabatka? Is like, what are you talking about? He's small. Here's the fucking target. Like, freaking stupid.
Don't tell me who the target is. I tell you who the target is, and it's Frank Sabaka.
Valchek has gotten a weird amount of love, like for this season, even though he's probably the most hateable person right now. He started this whole fucking thing because he got shorted out a window spot, and like he wants to ruin this guy's fucking life, whose life already sucks. Like, come on, like Valchek is a fucking dick. Also, yeah, freaking Prop Joe hears about them bringing in some new muscle from New York. He said, "Tell Stringer you got to deal with it." And of course, the episode ends with an ominous man with the bow tie showing up at the low rises, who stage enter brother Muzone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ready to go to Breaking Bad?
Yeah. I think Cody wasn't high on these episodes as high because there was no Omar in these last 3 episodes.
0.
After his big quarter point appearance, I think so. I think that'll get better for you next week.
Listen, this isn't like less is more, right? This is like fucking French fries and cake. Like, I want all that I can have. Why can't I have more Omar? And so we had to deal with fucking his death, fucking bullshit. At least Omar would have shot him with a shotgun. It would have made sense he died. Okay.
Man.
Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Season 3, Episode 1, No Mas. Tie back to my last trivia match where I heard a lot of that. Spanish. One of the weirdest or just ominous openings. Basically, the 2 men in suits, bald guys, get out of the car. Everybody's crawling towards this, just crawling in the town. They also get on the ground in their suits and crawl towards it. They end up crawling to like a shrine, kind of like place with candles. And they get there, and there is a picture drawn of old Heisenberg sitting on the thing. We're dealing with the aftermath of the crash, and Walt and Skyler divorce. We learn about, like, they're selling it basically the air traffic controller. Mike, you weren't here. We are putting the 167 kill count to the side.
Okay, I figured you might, yeah.
We will do a combined at the end to see how many.
Yeah.
But yes, we're doing that because it's just what it is. Walt tries to light his money on fire, decides that's a terrible idea, dumps it in the pool, and says no. Skyler meets with a lawyer, basically talking about getting divorced, wants to do it quietly, like nothing. Lawyer's trying to get it out of her, like, what is he doing? Like, there's something wrong with him. Hank's gonna help him move out.
Yeah.
It comes to one of my favorite scenes. There's multiple moments that happen like this. But while he's moving out, Walt is not lifting heavy stuff. Walt goes to lift his $500,000 in cash. Hank looks at him and goes, "God damn, what do you have in here? Cinder blocks?" And he just looks at him with a straight face and goes, $500,000 in cash. Goes, good one, Walt. And just moves on. So it's like when he tells like the stories and just keeps going. Jesse's going through rehab. He's dealing with the consequences of that. Walt is dealing with his PB&J and getting like that was one of the most like anal retentive scenes ever of him making the perfect square. Walt Jr. wants to ride to school from Dad, so the fight between Skylar and them continue. Walt gives one of the most unhinged speeches ever in front of a whole student body about people dying. It wasn't us. It could have been us. It should have been us, but it wasn't us. Like, and everybody's like,
I had here he should have been a motivational speaker. And I was trying to remember what that was for. It's like that's it right there.
that's it.
And also, it's nobody's fault. Probably technical errors.
The creepy Mexican guys show up at another house, basically to take over clothes and get stuff and be as weird as possible, like ominous as possible. They're really weird.
They got a car.
Marie, huh?
The family got a car. They're good. They
Car
got
for clothes is a fair trade.
Yeah, I left everything. Left everything behind and just kept walking. Marie pushes at Skylar, trying to figure out what did Walt like possibly do. She hits him with the line, "You're right, Marie. It is none of your business." Like, just oh dang. Jesse's going to doing the rehab. He hits his like rehab person with a, "Have you ever like taken any have you ever caused any pain, like done that?" Tells a pretty heartbreaking story about when he's drunk and then went to the liquor store to get all the stuff. So that's that. Then the crux of just one of the best scenes is when Skylar and Walt sit down at the table, and she's like, "You're a drug dealer," and he's like, "What?" And even if I was right, would you tell me the truth, basically? And he's like, "I'm a cook. Like, I make meth like that." She gets freaked out by the conversation, leaves. He goes, she's like, "I'll make it very clear. You stay away from us and grant me this divorce, and I won't tell Hank, and I won't tell anybody." Like, basically. Walt picks up Jesse from the rehab. Kind of cracked windshield because of the airport. It's like Jesse really doesn't know what really went on. Basically, like he's been in that I don't know if he's been there the entire time or what. Yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
he was in the rehab the entire time, basically. But he doesn't. He heard about it, but he doesn't know much about it. Basically tells him when he's ready, Walt, that he has his money where it's at. It's with Saul. And then we had an incredible scene at the very end with Gus Fring and Walter White sitting at Los Pollos Hermanos. And it basically goes, "I'm done." He's like, "Would you at least hear my proposition?" "You can tell me, but it's probably not. 3 months of work, $3 million. And he's like, says that he's like, "It's still a no." So he leaves with the no, and then we get back to those fucking guys in this hay-filled car, and the guys sitting there talking to him, and they just literally brutally murder every fucking person in that thing, and then blow up the thing and continue walking. So it kind of ends that way. So it starts ominous, it ends ominous. We know that they are coming for Walt at this point. There was a threat made at the beginning that his cousins will be Tuco's cousins are coming. Like, that's what the threat was made early in season 2. So that's what, and they're doing a very good job of leading. It's basically Hansel and Gretel. There's breadcrumbs leading to Walt. That's what ends up happening, and they're doing a really good job of selling it. I think Gus Fring is just one of the best TV characters of all time, and he's very we had talked about this last time. His eyes are the coldest that I don't It's crazy how all his emotions from his facial expressions, and he barely says anything. So, what were you guys' takes on No Mas coming from the first episode, the first episode of season 3?
The two cousins, man, every scene they're in is fucking incredible. Mm-hmm. And the haystack scene, especially, where it's a kid that just looks down at the shoes and sees the shoes and he shuts the fuck up because he knows. And when they notice that, it's goodbye to everybody, including the fucking poor driver who goes, "What's going on?" He gives some shots, and I just love that he doesn't run diagonally at all. He just fucking runs straight. It's so fucking easy for them just to jump out and shoot the fucking guy, and then they just they fucking burn down the fucking haystack truck. Which is
why didn't
awesome.
he drive away?
Yeah,
I need to
what
get
the
back
fuck?
in his car and leave.
Great question.
Why didn't
But yeah,
they take their
overall,
boots off and get
It's
shoes?
fun fucking shit this episode. The Hank shit is fucking awesome. Hank is always my fucking favorite of this shit. And the Skylar moments are great in this. She
Bitch.
fucking finds out and she just wants nothing to fucking do with them anymore. But she gives them that option of going, if you just stay the fuck away, I won't say anything. And that comes back, which is by far one of my favorite moments in the next couple episodes.
Yeah, I thought this was a great season opener. I love the part with Hank and Walt, and it's another example of where Walt pretty much tells Hank the truth about all this. He hardly ever lies to Hank about this stuff, but of course, the context, and of course, Hank would never suspect Walt of something like that being real or serious. And of course, the conversation between Skylar and Walt was really good. Pretty much.
It's one of their best acting
yeah.
performances between the two of them.
Definitely. Yeah, you can really feel for her in this situation.
Oh man, right in the
Good talk, Mark.
Matt, you had to end right as I was giving out just the biggest yawn.
That's what happens when I talk.
Yeah, this is a really good episode. And it's a great episode. I think that just has just a collection of just really neat moments, even though I think it's somewhat indicative of like kind of what we're going to get these next two, but still nonetheless great. The Tuco's cousins, they're fantastic. It's just like they're such a like a neat thing just to throw in this season, and like just kind of with every interaction they have, it's 100% less is more, just intimidating every single second. A great little moment that I love in this episode is when Walt is kind of lost his family, didn't know what to do, and he thinks, well, you know what, this money has no use, I'm just gonna burn it, and then like the quick regret of like, oh shit, just throws the money in the pool, like fantastic. And honestly, probably one of my favorite moments from Jesse in this episode, just kind of in general, just the far and away, just kind of dead inside look he has through really the beginning of the season, and has just that great part when after Walt picks him up from rehab, he's like, in rehab you figure out who you are. I know who I am. Like, I'm the bad guy. Fucking great line. One of my favorite moments from Jesse in the whole show. Just really good episode. Really good way to open. However, I will say this, and just in terms of, you know what, I'll save that. Really good episode. We'll go on from there.
Next,
11 kills too for the kill count.
How many?
11.
Still think Breaking Bad may take the charts of this regardless. But Breaking Bad episode 2 translates to Horse Without Name, because I'm not pronouncing that. Walt gets pulled over by the cop, broken windshield, explains, do you realize that there was we were in the flight path? He gets maced. He gets fucking just taking his ass down. Like
That
he
cut
doesn't
to
get
him
back in
just
the
in the
car.
back of the car is just amazing.
Yeah, has no business. Hank is back at work, and Walt calls him at the start to. Why does Walt call him at the beginning?
Because he got arrested.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Right. Duh. He gets maced. His call is to him. one of the coolest parts is Jesse like shows up at the house to find out that they are selling the house. So he's like, okay, I'm like going through it. It's like, oh, and you're selling it. Walt and him drive back. He apologizes for how he acted. Walt has a conversation with Saul about telling his wife, and he's like, she won't spill because like everything, like husband in the DEA, like brother-in-law in the DEA, good, like this will have national news. There's no way she'll bring it up. Get a great scene with Mike at the park, just with his granddaughter, right? Just we see the nice side of Mike, where it's Mike is the top 5 character from the show, absolutely. I don't, and nobody's ever watched this disagrees with it. Walt Jr. is having nothing to do with Skyler, stupid bitch. Basically the whole time just hates him, and love every bit of it. They come over for dinner. Marie and Hank was like, well, I wonder what he did. Oh, 2 cell phones? I'll tell you exactly what he did. I've seen it all before. Blah, blah. Buddy, you have no idea. That blue stuff you're chasing, it's coming from your brother-in-law. Walt says, fuck his mom. He's going to Walt's house. He camps outside his door and basically tells him to bring it back. Then the cousins have now arrived after the long walk to meet Bell Guy. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. And he is playing a Ouija board to spell out a name known as Walter White. So now they have the name. They know exactly who they're looking through. Skyler is still covering up the books with Ted and going through like, man, you're really fucked up. Like, I can't be involved in this. I'm going to stay involved in this, but my husband's a meth head, so you're better than that. Skyler's a bitch, of course. I understand he did this because he had cancer and he's going to leave them broke, so let's remember that. They sit down to buy the house. They're selling it for $800,000. Saul comes in and offers $400,000. Are you serious? What an insult! Blah blah blah. All this like backlash. Well, you can seal the meth lab in it. Are you sure you want to do it? So they end up having to take the price for it. The famous scene, Walt tries to move back in the house by bringing pizza.
Oh yeah.
If you don't want your fucking pizza, and he launches it on the roof. That house had so many pizzas thrown on it in the days after the show. Walt gets fucking shit-faced or something. He passes out on the fucking popcorn and his tidy whities and fucking thing. Jesse shows up at the house and they're like, get out. He's like, I own it now. Like, he had the key, so he ended up buying it. They're shocked. And old Mike visits the house to put in cameras and stuff around it. Walt also comes in at the exact same point. They're all meeting because he's going to move back in. He's fuck it, I'm just moving back in. The cousins show up. One of the most ominous like scenes ever is they pull out. Mike like calls and says, I don't know if you need to know this. Like, there's these guys showed up, and he calls Gus. Basically, is who he calls. He basically says, so we're not telling the lawyer, right? Like, we find out that Mike's basically going to be working for Gus Fring at this point. Gus, Walt's in there taking a shower. Sure. He's showering. These guys walk into the house, like, look through all of it. He has a fucking axe, which is one of the most ominous, like, fucking things ever.
Nice and shiny.
Since nice, shiny axe, just dragging it. They're sitting on the bed waiting for it. They get the text from Gus that says Pollos on it, and they get up and leave, and by the time he gets out, they're all gone. Like, it's like quick camera angle too. It's really cool how they do it. Walt knows something was up because there was the eye of that teddy bear in the suitcase. It was on one side of it and moved to the other side of it, and he just has got some questions, but he doesn't know how close he was to not being on this earth anymore. I think it's a fantastic episode overall. Like, there's great character moments throughout it. We get more Mike. Mike installing those cameras all around the house is just so funny to me. What were your guys' take on this?
Oh yeah, it has one of my favorite moments, which is a fucking windshield moment. And I just love that when he pulls him over, he's trying to explain to him. He goes, "Yeah, it was the airplane going down. It's just the debris. You've heard of it, right?" And the cop does not give a flying fuck at
it. He's wearing a ribbon of it.
Yeah, he does not care.
It's been like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
This guy's got $500,000. He can't have somebody just come to his house and replace the windshield.
And then he goes, what are you gonna? You're gonna mace me? You're gonna mace me? It just cuts to him crying in the back of the fucking cop car. I just love that Hank comes to get him, and he goes, he treats him like a child. Do you have anything to say? He has to apologize for being an asshole to him. And yeah, the Walt deciding to move back into the house is fucking hilarious, and it just the whole concept of him just out of his fucking mind that he thinks that he can just walk in and start taking a shower and everything's gonna be okay is just fucking funny. And yeah, the cousins up at the house, fucking terrifying. Just sitting out there, probably waiting to chop his fucking head off. And yeah, overall, great fucking shit. It's a great second episode, start of the 3rd season.
It's good. This is one thing I will say that in terms of like I watched this episode and I'm really glad I did not watch this show week to week because it would have been fucking torture. Like especially like in these first 3 get like a month in.
Yeah.
Like, not that like I don't think like nothing happens in these 3 episodes. But like you're just sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? Like I gotta see something. Like you're just gonna like dangle these cousins in front of my face and like they're just not gonna do anything. Like, come on. But yeah, we skipped over probably one of the most significant things. Just not really in the show, but just in terms of how it disrupted somebody's life. Of the Walt bringing over the giant pizza. And he's like, why can't we just enjoy this pizza, Skylar? And she's like, fuck you, you're a drug dealer. Get out of here. And he's like, throw the pizza on the roof. And little did we know that would become a pop culture height. Because people would then go and throw that exact same pizza on the actual roof of that house multiple times to the point where the person who actually lives in the house fucking hates the show and hates every fan for throwing pizza on the roof and taking pictures and like just like, why does everybody have to bother me because I live in Walter White's house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a great episode. I think everything's coming together nicely. I liked. I think this is episode 2. Saul pretty much explains to Walter why Skylar can't go and tell everybody. It's like her brother-in-law is the DEA agent. She can't go say anything to anything, and that's what gives him the like. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm gonna move back in. What's she gonna do? But yeah, the all the stuff with the cousins. I mean, it's a little convenient that Mike, Walt, and the cousins all show up at the house within like 5 or 10 minutes of each other, but it makes for a great scene, so I'll let it slide.
Just want this on the record. They should be thankful that they just throw pizzas on top of the roof.
Yeah.
Instead of 2 cousins showing up with an axe. Could have done that, so let's be thankful. Okay. All right, episode 3, IFT. We get a glimpse of a flashback, basically, of the turtle and another Hispanic gentleman talking into the bar, kind of like drug cartel kind of environment. They do so good at just opening it like this. Like, I think their openings are some of like the best. And they're painting the actual turtle. So like, which is like, he doesn't realize like right in front of him, like, like it's gonna be for you, buddy. And they come in with that. They just end up the cousins basically come in and take off his head, which is we get to see that scene. Walt is inside the house, waving to Skylar. Skylar comes in and like calls the cops like in front of him. Like, I'm gonna call them. They're putting me through. Go do what you have to do, Skylar. Just do what you have to do. The cops end up coming to him. Walt Jr.'s like, she's such a bitch. Like, why don't you just like Dad? Like, fuck you, you stupid bitch. Like, it's all the time. It's literally like, he's done nothing wrong. He's a good guy. Like, it's hilarious to me. Just how he just keeps like telling Walt like, the Skylar's just a bitch. Like, he's the embodiment of me towards Skylar. Like, fuck this bitch.
Not just Walt,
he's a
the
meth
police
head.
too.
Get over yourself. He's a meth head. Officer's like, if you think he's done any wrongdoing, anything whatsoever, anything that you think, I can get you out of this. She won't do it. End up leaving. Basically separated. Saul comes to Jesse's house, basically talking to him about like getting clean and all this stuff, but what we could possibly continue doing since your partner's out, maybe get you back up and like cooking, like not for yourself though, of course. He ain't having it. Get the fuck out. There's a meeting. Gus, the other cartel member, the cousins, they're all meet into the situation, talking about like cartel shit, basically about Walt, like the overall like operation and how it's all going to work moving forward. Gus plays kind of like second fiddle. He seems like it, but there's bigger like that's the bigger like Mexican, like they're the part of the cartel down in Mexico, so they're keeping the flood, the communication, the shipments, what they're all going to agree to. The kind of deal that he's trying to work off the 3 months for he's trying to get Walt to cook for the 3 months, so that, and it's like, what after the 3 months? Well, then we won't need him anymore. Basically, we'll have enough to just keep it rolling. Walt's sleeping in his own fucking, he's not allowed to sleep in the bed with Skylar or anywhere. He's like sleeping in this little cot. Skylar tells her lawyer that he's a drug dealer because client privilege, lawyer privilege, so he's not able to rat on that. Hank's snapping more and more. He gets into a fucking bar fight, just beats the fuck out of somebody just because he wants, like, because he's not sleeping well. He's having constant panic attacks. Like, this shit is weighing on him.
I mean, I do that after I go back to El Paso.
Sure. Jesse starts cooking again. He's going to cook his own batch. He's going to see how it works. His partner basically covers for him in the bar fight, like what happened and all the situation there. Walt and Skylar have the conversation about like the $480,000 just sitting in the duffel bag. Like, this is our kids' college. This is everything. Like, this is the money that we can use for the future. Wild by Mike, which is interesting because I don't have access, so hopefully he can end the call. Or are we still playing forever?
Oh,
there he's back.
I don't know what the hell happened there.
One of the grenade to Walt's ego because he's in there making dinner at the end. Skylar's putting on the moods on Ted. Walks in and goes, "Oh yeah, we're having dinner. Like, everything's nice. Oh, you look so pretty. Like, all this stuff." I fucked Ted. And then Walt's face just like changes like to the Heisenberg like face. Like, him and Gus like have it down where their facial structure, like how they look is different then when it's basically when the switch gets flicked, it's basically how he transformed into Heisenberg right in front of her at that first point, and that's like the first time Skylar sees Heisenberg, and he doesn't act any different. It's just the rage that fills him in that moment, and you can just see it on his face. Like, Walt ain't home anymore. Walt ain't there. It is fucking Heisenberg. Which again, he doesn't do anything crazy, but you can just tell his like shot to his ego is like there. And Walt doesn't like to be showed up. Like basically. Like we've learned that over the course of times. Like old Walt would handle that stuff. He ain't handle that stuff anymore. So overall, I think this is a great episode. Just basically how the Skylar Walt dynamic is continuing to break down. They did a really good job of setting up that relationship in the first 2 seasons to make like this fracture like actually feel something. Like I think they waited the perfect amount of time to break apart that. They set up like the small lies and the perfect things down the line to let it all crumble at the right point. And then like the overall like him staying in the house and like trying to play house with her, and Skylar's like, "Fuck you, I'm not playing the game." Bitch. No one likes Skylar. Terrible mom. Why are you such a bitch to dad? Everybody's opinion on the 3rd episode. I think the opening, the cold open of the turtle getting his head chopped was fucking crazy. Like to see it.
I live for Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo is fucking awesome. So anytime I get to see him, it's fucking amazing. And then I live for little comedic moments like Skylar pulling up to the house and seeing the car and calling him and going, "Walt, are you in the house?" And he just pops his head through the fucking window. He just smiles and waves at her. He's lost his fucking mind. It's so fucking great. He goes, "I'm moving back in." He doesn't give a flying fuck anymore. And yeah, the Hank moment to see him be badass in that bar because he has lost. Like, he is losing control of everything. He's just fucking great. He leaves his gun, he leaves everything aside and comes back in and he goes, "Take a shot," and fucks them both up royally. Overall, I think it's a great end for these 3 episodes. It's great shit.
Oh yeah, it's a really good episode. I thought the last one was a little bit better, but this one is still really good. A lot of little character moments I liked. I loved that at Gus's meeting there with the other boss, he set up a little veggie tray at the beginning. I thought that was a really nice moment for Gus.
He's a hospitality king.
And then this is an episode where you got to feel bad for Skylar a little bit. She's pretty much being held hostage in her own house at this point. Walt called her bluff on the police, and there's nothing the police can do. Pretty much her lawyer pretty much even says she's kind of screwed at this point, so she's stuck in the situation. Like I said, down the line, Skylar's going to do stuff that I can't defend. But at this point here, I feel like she's somewhat of a victim. So.
Oh, poor Skylar.
Yeah.
That she just has to live in a house with $480,000 and a guy that won't do anything damaging to her. Fuck off. Stop.
Then this, I don't remember. I watched this. I don't remember if they bleeped the fuck out or not, or if it was just because I know it was like 10 o'clock at AMC. I feel like this is one of the first times
they probably bleeped it out, but it was nice to hear it on.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, good episode.
Fuck Ted.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good. It's like
hanging from the doorknob. Cinema, greatest thing I've ever seen. Can we not invite Mark back for season 2?
We got in the last. We all got to do it again. It happened. We're gonna move past it. Right?
You know me so long in this community. I let things go so easily, don't I?
Yeah. Oh man.
Mark, remind him that you're both mad at Mike right now.
I just have a couple questions for this. do we believe that the cousins killed that old woman, or did they just politely ask to borrow the van? I'm not sure. They kind of left that open-ended. Um,
They killed her.
I mean, I didn't put
asked
a
for
kill
the man,
count
I like
down,
that.
so I believe they just ushered her out.
I mean, the best thing about this episode is that Vince Gilligan really wanted to name an episode of cable television "I Fucked Ted." He's just like, you know what would be awesome is if that's just the name of this. That's the name of this episode, and there's something to love about that. Definitely one of the tops of you know episode titles ever. However, I know I've defended Skylar a lot on this show, but Matt, this is 100% where she's incredibly hateable, mainly because she can't see the writing on the goddamn wall. This is her out. She just learned these selling drugs. If I just leave and call the cops on him, I'm good. I can just say, yeah, he was fucking lying to me the whole time. And you know what? She has witnesses that he was lying to her the whole time.
No, it's gonna ruin Hank's career. She's gonna lose the house.
Who
It's not gonna be
cares? Like,
good for
get out of
her.
there. It's over.
I'm the one who knocks. No, I get you. Skylar's a bitch. Like, this is a safe space. We all agree the same thing.
I'll also say, like, you kind of made fun of this throughout whenever looking on the Wikipedias for Oz, that like, tensions are rising like in Oz, and yeah, like I feel like that's kind of like our thing. Like, this is like our thing with Breaking Bad. Like, well, and yeah, Skylar's being a bitch, so there we go.
Absolutely. I don't know what this tells about us. We spent 59 minutes or 56 minutes on Oz. We spent a total of the same amount of time on 6 episodes we sped through.
It tells us that Mike was back this episode.
It definitely tells Mike. Yes. Mike was really tuned in for the first episode on. So, same that we've done in the past. Oz will have 2 episodes next week. We will close out season 3. We will also close out season 2 of The Wire. We will have 2 season finales back to back. We will be an episode. So we will start next episode with Breaking Bad. So
because we are only doing 2 episodes of Oz. Do we want to do 4 of Breaking Bad next week?
I think that might be a good idea because then
because there is an episode that we have to do 4 of one of them.
Because then there'll be 6 episodes left, so we'll be able to knock out Breaking Bad in 2 weeks.
I will also say if you make me wait another week for episode 7,
I
will lose my fucking mind.
You want to watch 1 minute? Yeah.
So we'll do 2, 3, and 4.
Says the fact that I could not wait on Breaking Bad after I went very far into season 3 after we ended season 2. I have no shame. I sat there and said, I need to watch some movies. Breaking Bad's available because I will revisit those.
So you're saying you didn't watch a bunch of fandom movies and you watched Breaking Bad instead?
No, I watched some fandom movies. What I wish I would have done is just watch Breaking Bad. It would have saved me a lot of time because the movies I watched, I got 0 questions from. Love my life. Anyways, so next week we will start with Breaking Bad. We will work through 4 episodes: Green Light, Moss, Sunset, and 1 Minute. We will do the final 2 episodes of Oz to wrap it up, and then we will wrap up the final 3 episodes of The Wire, and we will be done with that. So then we can rank season 2 amongst the rest of them. Yeah. Again, we don't care if 1 person watches this. We are having a fantastic time doing it. We've planned our mini series between our season 2, and we already have season 2 planned. So we're ready. Hope you all are too. And
on board.
Listen, if you were born, I want this to be on the record. If you were between the ages of 18 and 24, please just skip the first 50 minutes of this episode and every other episode of Oz. Don't come at me. Don't try to cancel me. It was 97. We lived in a different world, okay? This is before the Twin Towers got taken down, okay? Life was different. So
Are
don't
you
come
saying
at
we
me.
shouldn't have like a sister podcast where we have like our 18 to 25-year-olds watching Oz and they're giving?
Oh
their
my gosh!
opinions?
I would pay
yeah.
a large amount of money for the 5 people off the top of my head to be sit in a room and watch the reactions live to Oz. I would live for it. We watched The Jerk one night on call.
Oh,
and I thought
the greatest moment of my
group
life.
was
The
going-
first 10 seconds, just the face of everyone.
I was born a poor black child. I thought they were all going to melt to the floor. And then he says the N-word at the end, and it was over. So, again, don't come at me. I do not care. Yeah.
So send all your
Peace.
letters to HBO.
Peace.